Are you feeling stuck in your staff job? Creatively capped, a little undervalued, and watching all the best opportunities just pass you by? Okay, let's dive into this field guide. It's for creative professionals who are really ready to take control. And look, this isn't just about quitting your job. This is a clear, actionable plan for building a freelance career that actually lasts. So let's start right here with the number one fear, money, right? This quote is from Jake Benjamin, a creative who was in that exact same spot. But when he finally sat down and did the math, he realized the reality of freelancing was completely different from what he was afraid of. 7 days. That's it. 7 days of work a month was all it would take to match his full-time salary. You see, when you break it down like that, the math is way more achievable than our fear, what the book calls our lizard brain wants us to believe. It's not some impossible leap of faith. It's a calculated step. So what was Jake's deal? Well, he was a super skilled assistant editor, but his company only saw him as their indispensable tech guy. He was totally pigeonholed. All the creative projects went to other people. And then the recession hit, and boom, pay cuts for everyone. He was trapped, undervalued, and felt completely helpless. Sound familiar at all? So how do you get from that feeling to a life you actually design for yourself? Well, this field guide gives us a clear roadmap. First, we're going to break down the problem with the staff job. Then we'll cover the huge mindset shift you need to make. After that, we'll walk through a 5-phase plan, cover the essential tools you'll need, and finally get to the big one, designing your own life. Let's start with the most critical part, because honestly, without this, none of the practical stuff will work. It all starts with changing how you think about your career, your fears, and your idea of comfort. This right here is the core philosophy of this whole approach. It comes up again and again. Your staff job might feel comfortable, maybe even safe, but that very comfort is what's stopping you from growing. To really succeed as a freelancer, you have to actively seek out a little bit of discomfort. So what's really holding you back? It's not logic. It's this thing, your lizard brain. This is that ancient, primitive part of you that's just screaming about all the worst-case scenarios. Going broke, losing your apartment, all that stuff. Just recognizing that this is a primal fear is the first step to managing it. And the truth is, the actual risk is almost never as bad as your lizard brain is telling you it is. So here's how you use that new freedom. This guide introduces a brilliant strategy called pain versus rainbows. Pain projects are the high-paying, maybe less creative gigs. Think animating a pie chart. They're the work that funds your life. Rainbow projects, on the other hand, are your passion projects. They build your portfolio and really reignite your creative spark. Freelancing gives you the power to consciously choose between them. Okay, so you've got the mindset, you understand the strategy, now for the practical, get your hands dirty part of the guide. Let's move to the 5-phase plan and see how this all builds into a real career. This is the entire journey all mapped out. And notice, it's not just about finding work, it's about building relationships. You start by just getting known. Then you move to being liked, which opens the door to being trusted. From there, you become so essential, they need you. This progression is the real secret to a stable and successful freelance life. Let's walk through it. Phase 1 is all about getting on the radar. This means putting together a killer portfolio. And listen, less is more. Show only your absolute best, most relevant work for the clients you want to attract. Seriously, one weak piece can make a client question everything else. Then it's about doing some research and crafting that first, simple email just to let them know you exist. Okay, once they know you, you need them to like you. This is all about being a professional they actually enjoy working with. Be responsive, be friendly, and never ever make them feel like the request is an inconvenience. That foundation of being easy to work with leads right into phase 3, getting trusted. That's where you just deliver amazing work, on time, every time. You become reliable. That trust leads to repeat business and referrals, which then takes you to phase 4, where they don't just trust you, they need you. You're not just a freelancer anymore, you're a strategic partner. And that is where you get real security. All right, so once you've built those relationships and that trust, you finally have the leverage to confidently master the business side of things. The part that usually freaks out that lizard brain. Let's talk rates. The book is crystal clear on this. Do not undercharge. It's so tempting to set a low rate to get work, right? But anything below about $350 a day can actually backfire. It kind of signals to clients that you might be inexperienced or you lack confidence. The median rate is around $500 a day, with experts pulling in $750 or more. Just remember, your rate isn't just a number. It's a direct reflection of your value. And this just brilliantly shows one of the biggest rewards of getting this stuff right. In a staff job, 50 weeks of the year belong to your boss. As a freelancer, your time is your own. You can take a whole month off. You can travel when it's cheaper during the off season. You are no longer on the world's schedule. You are on yours. This here represents a really powerful shift in your thinking. As you get more experienced, you move beyond just trading your time for money. By creating a detailed project bid, you start charging for your value across different services: design, animation, rendering, you name it. This is how you escape the ceiling of only having 24 hours in a day and really start to scale your income. Which brings us to our final section, and really the ultimate goal of this whole thing. Because this isn't just about making more money or doing cooler work. It's about something much, much bigger. It's about having an adjustable tool to build a life. That pain and rainbows strategy means you're in the driver's seat. Need to save for a down payment on a house? You can choose to dial up the high-paying pain jobs for a year. Want to switch up your career or just spend more time with your family? You can dial up the rainbow time. Your career finally starts serving your life, not the other way around. And that brings us to the most important point. The 9 to 5, the 2 weeks of vacation, the tiny annual raise, none of those are laws of nature. They are just the rules of a game you no longer have to play. As a freelancer, you get to write your own rules. Which leads us to the final and most important question this whole guide is asking you to think about. Forget what you're supposed to do. Forget the standard path. If you had the tools, the plan, and the freedom, what kind of life would you actually build?